Anthropic built an AI so powerful they refused to release it to the public. They called it Mythos. They said it was too dangerous. They locked it behind a secret program with Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. And then today, June 9th, 2026, they said, fine, you can have it. Welcome to Claude Fable 5, the wildest AI drop of the year, and we are breaking it down. Okay, quick backstory because it's actually kind of insane. Back in April 2026, Anthropic unveiled something called Claude Mythos, and they immediately went, yeah, we can't give this to everyone. Why? Because it could find and exploit vulnerabilities in digital systems in ways that genuinely scared them. Like, this thing was hunting for 0 days in major operating systems in browsers. So instead of a public launch, they created something called Project Glasswing, a restricted program involving partners like AWS, Microsoft, Apple, and CrowdStrike. Basically, the elite squad of tech companies that could actually contain this thing. For 2 months, the rest of us just had to watch. And then today happened. So what is Claude Fable 5? Simple answer, it's Anthropic's first Mythos class model that's publicly available. Fable 5's capabilities exceed those of any model they've ever made generally available, state-of-the-art on nearly all tested benchmarks. With exceptional performance in software engineering, knowledge work, vision, scientific research, and more. Think of it this way, Mythos 5 is the uncaged version. Fable 5 is Mythos 5 wearing a very polite safety vest. Same brain, same underlying model, just wrapped in safety classifiers that route sensitive queries to Opus 4.8 instead. You still get the superpower, you just can't use it to hack the Pentagon. Fair trade, honestly. Let's get into the good stuff. 5 reasons Fable 5 is actually a big deal. 1. Context window the size of a novel. Fable 5 supports a 1 million token context window by default, with up to 128K output tokens per request. That means you can feed it an entire legal contract, a 400-page research paper, or your entire code base, and it holds it all in memory. That's not just impressive, that's a different category of tool. 2. Long horizon agentic work. Fable 5 is built for days-long, complex, and asynchronous tasks previous models couldn't sustain. Days long. We're not talking about answering one question anymore. We're talking about Claude running a project, autonomously, over time, while you go touch grass. 3. Vision that actually understands context. Advanced vision capabilities mean Claude Fable 5 understands diagrams, charts, and tables, nested in files and PDFs, opening up research and document-heavy work in finance, legal, analytics, and more. In coding, it implements designs with high fidelity and uses vision to critique its own output against goals. It looks at a design mockup, it builds the code, and then it checks its own work against the original. That's a junior developer who never sleeps and never complains. 4. Coding burn-burns that break the chart. On agentic coding, the new model hits 80.3% on SW Bench Pro, compared to 69.2% for Opus 4.8, 58.6% for GPT 5.5, and 54.2% for Gemini 3.1 Pro. For context, SWE Bench is like the SAT for AI coding ability. GPT 5.5 is sitting at 58, Gemini at 54, Claude Fable just walked in with an 80. That's not a win, that's a different sport. 5. Self-verification. The model self-updates skills based on learnings and develops its own harnesses and evaluations. It doesn't just do the work, it checks whether it did the work well. Then it adjusts. That's kind of how humans are supposed to work, but rarely do at 2 a.m. Okay, real talk, how do you actually get this thing? Through June 22nd, Fable 5 is included in Pro, Max, Team, and Enterprise plans at no extra cost. On June 23rd, Anthropic pulls it from those plans, and it'll require usage credits going forward. For developers and builders, it's priced at $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. It's not cheap, but for what it does, that's not a cost center, that's infrastructure. It's available via the Claude API, Amazon Bedrock, Vertex AI, and Microsoft Foundry, basically everywhere you're already building. Now I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention the weird part. Anthropic literally this week put out a public statement warning that AI is getting too dangerous and urging major labs to coordinate on slowing down frontier development. And then they released their most powerful model ever. The same week, to be fair, they built in safety classifiers. And both Fable 5 and Mythos 5 come with mandatory 30-day data retention for safety monitoring. So they're not being reckless. They're threading a genuinely hard needle, release enough to stay competitive, lock down enough to not break the internet. Claude Fable 5 dropped to down. The window to use it free on Pro closes June 22nd. That gives you 2 weeks to test the most capable AI model ever. I'm going to be doing deep dives, specific use cases, what it's actually good at, what it still fumbles. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those. Drop in the comments, what's the first thing you're going to use Fable 5 for? I'm genuinely curious. This is AI A to Z, and we're just getting started.